What's up, everyone? So today I want to talk about a little bit of a different topic. It's something I've talked about previously on the channel, and it's about Sparking Zero and Xenoverse 2, and both of their respective futures going forward. Now, there's been a lot of, I want to say, banter in the community, both communities per se, about the future of each game. Xenoverse 2 fans, I feel like have dwindled in a sense. There isn't the same amount of people in the lobby that there used to be. The lobbies are a little bit more dull. They're a little bit more empty. And in my previous video, I was talking about how potentially if Sparking Zero, whenever it did come out, the Xenoverse servers and things like that, and the player base would probably dwindle down, which it did. It has happened. Now, there is still a hardcore player base for Xenoverse 2, like it or not. That's not up for debate. There is a hardcore player base that was devoted to this game years on end. And, they had their CACs and everything that they made, and people are going to come back and, still play the game just for their CAC and how much time they put into the game. Sparking Zero, however, is a breath of fresh air. It is a new game in the community that fans needed for a while, and it's hitting a sweet spot for a lot of people, and it's also hitting a sour spot for a lot of people too, which we'll get into that in a second. But Sparking Zero is the newest game, and being that Xenoverse 2 was the last game that was like multiplayer co-op, you were able to play with your friends online, and then we had Kakarot, which was a single player game, and then Breakers, which was online but not fighting in the sense of what we wanted in a Dragon Ball game. They were just trying something new with that one, but yeah. Sparking Zero came out at a time where we had just not had anything for a while, multiplayer-wise. So the player base is just going to be astronomical because you have a new modern Dragon Ball game, new 3D models, HD, 4K, whatever, and it's modern day. It's 2024. People are going to be all over that because that's what we've been wanting for a long time. So the player base for that game is just going to be astronomically big. Now, I don't have an actual count for the player base in and of itself. I don't know how many players play Sparking Zero, but I'm going to assume it's a lot because the game did break records just from pre-order sales. If you guys remember, I think it sold more than Black Ops 6. So that's kind of crazy in and of itself. But yeah, the game was just bound to do numbers. And, other games that are Dragon Ball related are just going to dwindle. That's just what we were getting into. It's just going to happen. Now, being that there is this banter in the community right now that, people are saying that Xenoverse is a terrible game and, nobody should play it. I don't think that's necessarily true. I don't think nobody shouldn't play the game anymore. If you like the game, play the game. There's nothing wrong with that. Do whatever you want to do. I personally think Xenoverse 2 is a great game. It'll always be a good game to me. I mean, for what it was, but in my opinion, it's overdue. And with all of this, back and forth in the community right now, I think that the actual devs and, Bandai, like the people behind Xenoverse 2, maybe see that happening. There's no way they can't because they have to be privy to PR and how people are perceiving your title, which is how you're making money. If you're gonna keep promoting DLC into Xenoverse, you need to be acceptable to feedback on it, which people have been claiming they want a third game for a while. So now more so than ever with a new game, people are starting to hate on Xenoverse 2 more so than ever at this point. And I don't know if that's going to be a long-term thing or, whatever. But this is the perfect opportunity for, I think, Bandai to introduce a third game for the Xenoverse series. If you want to make it a finale, so be it. But I think now, more so than ever, Xenoverse 3 would be the best title for the Xenoverse franchise. Well, not the best title. It would be the much needed title for the franchise. Because you already have people complaining about the game and calling Xenoverse 2 terrible and saying that you shouldn't play the game anymore because of Sparking Zero, yada yada yada. The list goes on. There's just a lot of banter, right? So I think that there's nothing that they can really do in Xenoverse 2 to make it to change people's perception on that idea. The mechanics are just outdated nowadays. And I'm not saying that they're bad, because they aren't bad, but they're just outdated. I mean, if you look at Kakarot, and Sparking Zero, those are more of like a modern feel for the games in terms of like fluidity, graphics, how things tie together, blah blah blah. The fighting just gets more intuitive as you go on in like modern gameplay, as it should. But Xenoverse 2 is still trying to promote DLC and certain things for this like outdated mechanic, or these outdated mechanics for the game. And you know, like I said, the game isn't bad. I'm not gonna hate on Xenoverse 2 unnecessarily, but it just needs to know, the people behind it just need to know that the title itself is kind of at its end, like at its rope's end, because you've kind of wrung the rag dry at this point. You know, you've kind of gotten like all the water out of the rag, or whatever you want to, whatever analogy you want to use in this sense. Like, you've pretty much squeezed it dry almost. You're at the very, very like end of your reserves here, because you're starting to hear it from the community now. Like, it's starting to get outspoken. It's at a point where even I'm making this video now because I've heard so much about it offline, and I wasn't even planning on making a video, but you know, I was inspired to make this video because I've seen like so many people express their opinions online, which, you know, they have the right to do. People have the right to have their own opinions. You don't have to agree with me in this video either. But yeah, Xenoverse 3, I think now more so than ever, they just need to hop on that and start attacking that and seeing what they can do. Take inspiration from Sparking Zero and certain things. I have more videos planned in the future talking about, you know, different aspects of Xenoverse 3. I'm going to go into a breakdown about the combat, about the how the game should be structured. I still believe Xenoverse 3 should be open map. I have an entire video coming out about that, so look out for that as well. But yeah, man, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Sparking Zero is going to, you know, take Xenoverse 2 by storm and just kind of defeat it, just kill it off? Like I said in my previous video talking about this topic, I don't think that, you know, the game will die off, but you can get on there right now and see that the player base has just decreased. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's still early. Sparking Zero just came out last month. It's November 1st as I'm recording this video. Sparking Zero is just literally like barely a month old at this point. So, I mean, people are going to be on that game pretty heavy, as we've seen. I think even across Xbox, PlayStation, PC, it's just dominating right now. So, I mean, maybe in time, because people do have their gripes with Sparking Zero, and I want to get into that too. People have their gripes with the game as well, and they have their problems with it and stuff, but I mean, over time, people may start to get, you know, tired of the game and switch over back to Xenoverse and whatever other games they're playing at the time. But Sparking Zero is probably going to dominate for a long, long time, just based off of the player base and how it's just modern. Like, the battles are structured. It's so fast paced that everything happens so quickly. Like, I don't know, you get addicted to it pretty quick. But I could see certain people getting tired of it too. But yeah, that's another thing too. People are complaining about, you know, cheese and Sparking Zero and how people are spamming, you know, sparking mode. It's like these little supers or skill moves you can use that put you into instant sparking mode. People hate that. People hate the spamming the key blast into an old dashing behind you, you know, not being able to like stop from getting hit from your back or whatever. There's just a lot of things people hate about the game. But again, just from playing myself, I think that if you just get the hang of the controls, I mean, there's different things you can do to like break out of combos and, you know, turn the tides of the battle into your favor. It just comes down to more of like a skill type of thing at the end of the day, which is pretty cool. I mean, that's what we wanted in this game. And yes, there is broken characters in that game too, but it's more so just about how you play the game. And broken characters do play a big role because they, you know, they don't take a lot of damage and they do a lot of damage. But if you're really, really skilled with somebody like mid-tier and up, you can probably still win the game regardless of who you're playing with, mid-tier and up. But yeah, I'm kind of going on a different tangent now. But yeah, man, like I said, let me know your guys' opinions down below about the matter. What do you guys think about Sparking Zero and Xenoverse going forward? Xenoverse 2 may continue to dwindle, who knows? But like I said, man, more so than ever right now, they got to focus on Xenoverse 3. or the next Xenoverse title if they want to continue to milk the Xenoverse franchise. Because right now they're the fan base is just, everybody is talking about, well, not everybody, but a lot of people are talking about how they are not happy with it. I'm always gonna like it, but yeah, thank you guys for watching the video. I've been ranting. Sorry about not being able to upload for a while. I'm going to get back onto those uploads and attack some more for you. Look forward to some more Xenoverse 3 breakdown content and some what ifs for the game. So yeah, peace.